Hey, Element Stratos here, and I was just talking with some friends about in this Yu-Gi-Oh group I'm in about Mecha Phantom Beasts and stuff, and this is an archetype that was released in the Lord Tachyon Galaxy set that came out not too long ago, and I wanted to talk about how this archetype essentially got screwed over big time by Dragon Rulers, and I'm not trying to talk about in terms of competitive play which deck's better or anything like that, or a typical screw Dragon Rulers, they're too OP sort of thing. In fact, this is actually more of how Dragon Rulers made it harder for people who actually wanted to run this deck. They made it impossible. Well, not impossible, but very difficult. Because this deck, well, or rather this deck type, because I don't have the full deck list up here, would have been very, very cheap to run. Because, like, I just went through the search bar here on Dueling Network and found some of the cards, and any ones that had an actual price showing. Mecha Phantom Beasts Black Falcon, on average, 20 cents. Hamstrat, average about $2.63. Mega Raptor, about $2. Stealth Ray, about 20 cents. Tetherwolf, about 30 cents. Turtle Tracer, 59 cents. Even looking at some of the support traps they got for themselves. Do a barrel roll, 30 cents. Aerial Recharge, average 17 cents. Now, this deck is actually pretty cool. It focuses around bringing out tokens and stuff to keep these guys alive and give them other effects, which pretty much just lets them exceed pretty quickly, which would let you go for the boss exceed of their deck, Mecha Phantom Beast Dracosack, which would make the deck pretty damn good. It's a bit slow, but it lets you bring out this really boss card, Mecha Phantom Beast Dracosack. Now, as most of us who play competitively know, Dracosack is used in Dragon Rulers because that is their main, well, one of their main exceeds along with Big Eye. But look at it here, like, the rest of this deck, all these cards are only a few bucks or even less, sometimes going down to like 20 cents, 17 cents. But then we have their one boss exceed, which skyrocketed in price because they're used in this other really, really competitive deck, Dragon Rollers, average $150. And this is after like some severe price drops. I remember prior to the set coming out, it was going for about this much on pre-order. And as soon as the set, as soon as the sneak peek came out, like when people were able to buy a few packs, this thing was going online for $200. Now that turns Mecha Phantom Beasts from a budget deck to either a pay a lot of money or the deck is a non-option type of deck. And I just find it so funny but messed up how even indirectly, not even through actually playing deck to deck, Dragon Rulers can manage to screw over completely another archetype. Personally, I don't think Dragon Rulers are too bad to go against. Just clarifying, because I know a lot of people like hate on the Dragon Rulers and say like, oh, anyone who runs them is just a scrub with money who doesn't really want to play the game or really want to have any, like, you'd be surprised the weird arguments and hatred you see against Dragon Rulers when, honestly, in my opinion, they're just a deck you can side against, like, or side deck against like any other deck, and if you're smart, you can play around it. If you're lucky, you'll draw into the card you need. If you're not lucky, you'll lose. That's the way the game's played. But I just find it so funny how that one archetype can shoot this card up to an over $150 card and screw over an archetype that would have been otherwise rather cheap to build. It's just something I find funny, and it's one of those little topics I like to talk about. Yeah, just, if you want, you can leave a comment on about what you think. I know I'm kind of a new channel, so I won't really get that much feedback, but yeah, if you want to say anything, feel free. Thanks for watching if you did.